Welcome back. Our next segment is about love, specifically loving someone who is of a different race. Unlike in the United States, Canada never had any blatant laws banning interracial marriage, but the stigma and its consequences were just as real. And unfortunately, interracial couples can still experience difficulties today based on the simple fact that racism still exists. I'm joined now by three couples who know the nuances of this firsthand. Hello, Ashley and Yao, Tiffany and Colton, and Bonnie and Kamarli. And I'm going to start with Tiffany and Colton. How long have you been together, and have you ever had any pushback from family or friends about your relationship?
Yeah, so we've been in a relationship for 5.5 years, and we haven't received any blatant negativity or pushback from our families.
We have, though, been the butt of a few kind of subtle jokes, whether it's about me being more progressive.
Or that I've made the white choice.
But other than that, that's about the most negativity.
How do you react when you hear things like that, like you've made the white choice? Do you do you ignore it, or do you say something, Tiffany?
I mean, it kind of depends who's saying it. When it's family, you know, it's a little like, it feels a little nerve-wracking to like push back against it. When I can tell that it's a joke, I don't really like say much about it, but it definitely feels a little uncomfortable.
Colton, I know this is the first time you've dated outside your race. Has your race been an issue or conflict within your relationship at all?
I wouldn't say that within our relationship it's been an issue, but being with Tiffany has forced me, and really been a blessing in disguise. It's required me to become much more self-aware around what it means to be white, especially in this society. And along with that has come a high degree of awareness of what white supremacy involves, what white privilege entails, and unfortunately the ongoing racism that's perpetrated by white people. So with that awareness comes a lot of great growth opportunities, but a lot of daily kind of tough issues to wrestle with.
Okay, now over to Bonnie and Kamarli. I know you've been together for a long time. You've done long distance, got married, had a baby boy. Congratulations. Have you ever experienced any pushback or negativity from family or friends about your relationship?
I don't think I would call it pushback or negativity, but my family, they're pretty traditional Chinese. And so I would say there's definitely, been skepticism and worry in the beginning. They would ask things like, will he treat you well? Is he going to take care of you? Questions like that, but more so in the sense of any parent caring about their child. But it is undeniable that there are always going to be racial sort of undertones. So we met in China, actually. He was studying on exchange there, doing his bachelor's on a scholarship from Antigua, and I was doing an exchange there. So when I went there, my parents were really hoping that I would meet a nice Chinese boy, but instead I came home with this guy. So, they would sometimes make jokes about that. And there's that sense that that's sort of what they always wanted, and that's not going to go away. But they've definitely, accepted him into the family for sure. And they know that we're meant to be together.
Kamarli, how does it feel for you? Like, do you feel accepted by her family? Does it feel, like everything is happy and content, or do you walk on eggshells a little bit?
No, I mean, they have been pretty accepting. And, as was said earlier, sometimes they would ask questions, or my family will ask certain questions or say certain things. But because of, we understand that there are different cultural, religious, and also generational differences. And it comes from a place of concern and, well-being.
Let me go over to you, Ashley and Yao. Hello. I know you were just married this past September. Congratulations. And I hear you didn't have any pushback from family and friends. How have things changed over the years with acceptance of interracial relationships from your perspective?
I definitely feel the world is, yes, more accepting of interracial relationships. But what I've actually personally found is like the changes within the interracial relationship, how there's a little bit more empathy for strife or troubles that may happen. I've been in relationships before where it's like, we're fine, but every other problem, that's not us. We're unique. We're special. Where I'm finding now actually is a lot more empathetic and listening and like asking the right questions and just generally concerned. It's not like an other problem. It's like, how does it affect us and how are we? So.
Okay, that's really interesting. So, because I do sort of remember that idea of interracial relationships will end racism. And I think what we've learned is that having folks who are mixed races does not actually change the systems of racism that exist. So that sort of awareness is really important, Yao. Ashley, another congratulations is in order because I hear you're expecting. I am. Yeah, congratulations. Now, do you think you'll feel pressure from family about how to raise your kids?
I think the main pressure is going to be how much each of them get to spend time with the baby. I think we will soon become obsolete, and the priority will be our child. And I think everyone's going to start vying for their attention and their time with the baby. If anything, I would think that, we both come from very strong heritage backgrounds. And I think there's going to be an importance placed on making sure that there's this really lovely combination of both of our families in the way we raise our children. But that's also something that's really important to us. So we've really enjoyed having those conversations with our families. And in fact, a lot of the time we're the ones bringing up that conversation of, this is something that really matters to us. Is there something that, you want us to pass down? That we can, continue. Although our child is Canadian, they have very strong heritage backgrounds. And I think that's what's going to make our child amazing and unique, because it's something that we loved growing up as Canadians with heritage backgrounds.
Okay, over to Tiffany now. I want to ask you this because last year was a tough year for so many people, particularly folks in the Black communities. And it was a time when I felt like I leaned on my husband a lot, just because he was having the same visceral reactions I was to seeing things like the murder of George Floyd and having the world erupt and all of a sudden this awareness about racism. Did you feel that there were issues that came to the surface in your relationship, or did you feel like you could lean on Colton during this time? And how did you work through that and navigate that?
Well, I've actually felt like I could lean on Colton about different things relating to my experience with my race for a very long time. And last year was a very confusing time for me. I mean, I had times where I felt like I didn't have to pay attention to what was happening because it wasn't affecting me personally. But now I feel like there's no way to ignore that. And so I've been wrestling with that for the past year. And it's been really, really amazing to be able to lean on Colton to explain how I've been feeling and to just have that support and know that whatever feelings I have, no matter how confusing, that I have somebody here supporting me and willing to listen and work through these issues with me.
Thank you all to all of you for sharing with us today, and congratulations on your growing families. It's really lovely.